Good morning. Welcome to Full Circle Ozarks.
Hey friends, welcome back to Full Circle Ozarks. We're down here at the Sawmill shed, and my goal during this video is to get some of the beams up across here. And so that's what we're getting ready to do, but I've got the beams ready, but I'm needing a way to fasten the beams to the post. I had been shopping for some metal brackets, and I haven't found what I'm looking for. I had considered getting some diamond plate steel and just cutting some of them out. So hadn't ruled that out completely, but I kind of drew a pattern out of what I think I need. And I'm going to get up this pole here, and I'm going to show you what I'm thinking about. I hope you can see what I'm thinking. Of course, there'll be a beam that's going to split this post right here in half and go that way to that post. And I need a bracket about like this right here. So I've got me a cardboard template made, and I was gonna use some diamond plate steel to make this, but I think I just remembered I have some leftover metal. Let me get down there, I'll talk to you. Sorry about that. Anyway, I was just, as I was up the ladder there, I just had remembered I've got some leftover metal when I put my shop up that I think I can cut some of these brackets here out. So here's kind of what I had drew out to be 4, 4, and 4, be 12 bolts. It's going to go in there. And that should be able to anchor those beams on there pretty good. Again, there'll be a beam that's going to split the top of that post there, but so I want this to be nice and stout. So all that to say, I guess I better get back up to the shop. I'd been up there working. I've already got hot and sweaty, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to try to get back to working on the shop. I've been kind of going back and forth on which way I was going to go on these brackets here, but now I think if I got the metal up at the shop, we got a plan. So I need to get up there and get these brackets made. I need 8 of them. So if I got enough metal, I want to get those made, and then we'll be ready to set these beams up there and get them fastened down. So you stay tuned. Well, it's actually the next morning. I'm back up here at the shop. It just got too hot yesterday to do any filming, so I did come up here and spend a few hours yesterday. Had the fan on. When I had the fan on, you couldn't do any filming, but what I did do, I did find enough of the metal. This is the kind of the metal that I've got. It's the beams that go on around the floor and overhead, but this is pretty heavy metal. And what I done, I actually tried a couple different options, actually 3 different options. I tried cutting this with a plasma cutter, and I made a couple of these using the plasma cutter. That worked okay. And then I have a portable bandsaw. I tried that, and that didn't work as good. But I had remembered when we was putting the shop up, on my skill saw, I got a special metal cutting blade, and I found that worked out the best to cut these right here out. So I'm just going to take you along as I need to make 2 more of these. So I'm going to take you along and show you the process that I went through to go from here.
How thick is that, you think?
I don't know. It's maybe it's not 3/16.
There's a tape measure. I don't know if that'll help.
I don't know that I can
heavy.
see. Yeah, it's heavy.
I can't.
Let me put it right here.
Okay.
See if I can tell. It's an 1/8 of an inch. I didn't think it was that thick, but it's an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm gonna throw this over out of my way.
So how do you get it from being round like this to flat?
Well, I'm gonna show them that in just a
Okay.
moment. But first, I want, if you remember a few moments ago, I showed you a cardboard template. Here is a completed one here. So I'm going to show you how I take this into this, and then we'll talk about how I use my anvil and get this all expanded back out. So I'll lay this right here aside just for a moment. So I've got a piece laid out right here now, and I'm making these about 12 inches long. So I've got a 24-inch piece of channel here. So I'm gonna take my skill saw and cut this metal. And folks, growing up years ago, I never thought people would be using a skill saw to cut metal, but I'm so impressed. So anyway, we're going to get this cut off, and then I'm going to show you how I draw it out and finish cutting it out. And when I start cutting this cotton top, I'm going to ask you to take a few steps back. She's got her safety glasses on, and I'm happy about that, but
Is this far enough?
I want you on the other side of that, because that could throw some pieces of metal that way. This is going to be noisy, so I apologize beforehand, but this is what we've got to do. Now that wasn't too bad, was it? There we go. I'll set this piece here aside. Then I'm going to take my template again. Button top, if you want to get a close-up of this so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'll just lay this here on what I just cut out. There'll be some scratch lines there so I can see where to cut at. Okay, that looks good. And then I want to extend these lines around the corner here so I can now I'll take my saw and begin to cut these here out. Okay. Now what I'm left with now, I need to straighten these bends. So I'm going to bring you around to my vise. And you know, I'm just going to take a moment. The vise that I'm using was one that my dad had in his shop, and he used it for years. So I'm honored to have that in my shop. This anvil as well came out of my dad's shop. So I think my dad would be happy that these are still getting used. So anyway, we're going to get.
What's that attached to?
It's just a piece of wood. He took some timing gears off of an old vehicle, cut the timing gears in half, and made mounts. So that works pretty good. That keeps it, put it on that stump and makes it pretty solid. So anyway, we're going to swing over by the vise here, and I'll show you how I'm going to straighten these out. Okay, what I'm simply going to do, I'm going to take my wrench here, and I'm going to kind of work on these and get them kind of straightened a little bit at a time. This is called a spud wrench, actually. I use it around my tractor quite a bit. This pointed in makes it nice to align 3-point attachments up. But I just kind of get it straightened out here a little bit. Do the same thing on the bottom one here. It's easier to take a small bite at a time. And again, this is not a how-to video. This is just how I done it. I was just laying in bed the other night and I'm thinking, if I could get the metal, I might be able to do this. And then I remembered I had these channels, and then I had to kind of think through how I wanted to try to straighten this out, if this would work and give me the size brackets that I needed. Okay. Got that one. We're getting there. I had mentioned a while back that I'd like to get a forge set up for a blacksmith shop. I know very little about a blacksmith on how they work with metal, but I do have my great-grandfather. I do have some lineage where my great-grandfather done a lot of blacksmithing. Matter of fact, he was made a lot of tools in his time, and I actually have a couple of his tools, part of his forge and all, that I may set up at some point. But anyway, let's swing around to the anvil, and we're going to take this and get it all straightened out. You'll see how I'm going to do that. Okay, got the anvil here. We're just going to lay it right there and start hammering. Well, there's one side. It doesn't take long at all.
Here, let me try one.
You want to try one?
I do.
You got to put your gloves on.
Okay, I'll put yours on. I got my safety glasses on. Last month I've had 2 eye surgeries, so I'm trying to be a little more protective. Okay, so what I do.
Okay. You want to use that hand and grab hold right there.
Right here?
And you see where we've done that first one?
Yes.
Okay, careful.
Okay.
But you want to hit it right here on that beam there. And you can kind of feel the metal squashing when you're hammering.
Can I do this now?
Yeah. Then just do an eyeball and look and see your high spots.
Right there.
Yeah. So you put it back there.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay. Then the other thing, when you're coming down with a hammer, I noticed sometimes you're coming down at an angle. You want to come down
always be flat.
But that looks pretty good, doesn't it?
I'm an expert. I can be a metal worker.
Yeah. So let's go right here. I'm going to... Okay. Well, folks, so there's one there. So I'm going to show you how I get the holes in it next. Since I'm kind of using this for a template again, I'll just lay it over that one. We'll use this punch here, mark the hole location. Okay, now I know I can't see that when I get over by the drill press, so I'm just going to take this marker and kind of highlight those dimples.
Can you show me the dimple before you highlight the last one?
Sure can.
So if I'm up here doing this by myself, I'll need to...
They're kind of hard to see, but there's a little dimple right there.
Hang on. Okay.
So I'll just take and I highlight that. Another one right there. So now let's get some holes drilled. Also want to start out by saying this drill press here was also my dad's in his shop, and it's a nice heavy duty press. So I already got the bit in here. We're going to turn it on and we're going to drill some holes. And folks, there's the finished product. I'll take a grinder, kind of dress any burrs up on it. But there's the finished product. So,
and what'd that cost?
Just a little bit of time is really all it costs, because I already had the material. Matter of fact, the material, I started to take it to scrap metal 2 or 3 times, and I kept thinking I probably got a use for that. But anyway, I think this is going to work exactly the way I want it. Got one more to make, and I am painting these black. So
and they're not, I mean, they're not perfect, but it's for a sawmill shed.
It's
too,
yeah, it's perfect for the way I want to use it. So okay, we'll get these next 2 painted. Main thing, I want to get where I've done some grinding, where there's no primer. And I can touch these up after I get them in, get the bolts in if need be. Lean the paint can out. Okay, folks, there's all 8 of them. Give you a close up. And these are the last two that are painted. The paint are still wet on those. Well, friends, thanks for coming along. I thought some of you may be interested in what I was using for brackets, so I wanted to show you making those. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would, so I've got to go back and look at the footage and see if I need to break the video up. Matter of fact, that brings a question up. When I say break the video up of making these and putting the beams up, some people simply don't have time to sit and watch a 30-45 minute video. And so what I try to do is make a little bit shorter videos and kind of break them up. And I hope that might be better for you. Leave me a comment. Do you like a 15-minute video, 20-minute video, an hour video? What works the best for your schedule? So I would really be interested in your feedback. But anyway, these are made. We're ready to put the beams up. I'll look at the content and see if all this content, if I need to omit part of it or whatever I need to do. I just don't want a real long video for your sake. So that's my thinking, but I need to hear from you also. So anyway, whether we put the beams up in this video, it'll be the following one. Either way, those beams are going to go up. We're going to use those brackets. So stay tuned and we'll get those beams up.